Reserve Bank of Australia Gov. Glenn Stevens discusses what has made buying a home today so difficult, especially for younger adults. In a joint interview with The Wall Street Journal and The Australian, "We know this because each week there is yet another statistic, survey or policy release that confirms how out of reach home ownership is for young Australians." The latest CoreLogic data for August revealed Sydney prices rose 1.5%, while Melbourne went up 1.4% in 4 weeks alone, putting paid to the notion that two of Australia's most expensive property markets are coming off the boil. But beyond the statistics, there is still a lot about property we don't know and don't understand. Here are the 6 most widely circulated myths. 1. Property always goes up in prick. Vendor and buyers advocate Michelle Amarant hears this one constantly. Property always goes up. I tell them to look at the mining towns of Western Australia. There are price drops there of up to 50%, she said. Ms. Amarant pointed out that even in a market tracking well over many years there were corrections. Within a cycle, the prices go up and then they either stabilize or they go down as the supply is absorbed. She said, there are off-the-plan apartments that would be worth less than what people paid for them by the time they're built. 2. It's easy to make money off property. Developmen. Everyone is a property developer these days. As investors knock down old houses on large blocks and convert them to townhouses. A license to print money, you may think. Not necessarily. In order to make a profit on a development, you need to do your due diligence, Ms. Amarant argued. It is quite possible to lose money from these developments, she said. You have to factor in not only the cost of buying the land, but of holding it, of delays, of council regulations and building costs. 3. Find the next boom SUBUR. It's called hot spotting, the art of locating where the next new town or Brunswick hipster enclave will emerge. And it's fraught with risk. Why? Well, by the time you get wind of the emerging suburb it is probably well into its boom. Everyone wants a bargain, but by the time you are reading about the next best place to buy, you are going to be paying close to the top of its cycle. Quote, Ms. Amarant said, there are many other factors which go into deciding whether a suburb is suitable to buy into that need to be looked at. 4. Low interest rates are great for first home buyer. According to founder of First Home Buyers Australia advisory group Taj Singh, low interest rates do little to help those trying to break into the market. Interest rate cuts mean that the interest rate for buyers' savings accounts actually drop too, he said. They are at ridiculous lows and that makes the great Australian dream of home ownership that much farther away. Furthermore, low interest rates only help investors squeeze out first home buyers. According to Mr. Singh, generally as interest rates get lower, prices get higher, which means investors can tap into more equity from their portfolio, he said. 5. Real estate agents sell home. Until recently, most sellers would never have dreamt of listing their home for sale without the help of an agent. But, according to property investor David Kaiti, author of Real Estate Agents Don't Sell Homes, sellers are slowly realizing that agents are not sporting a manila folder of eager buyers, and they don't necessarily hold any special powers to offload properties. When people inspect a property that does not fit their criteria, is the agent able to say or do anything to make them change their mind? Quote, Mr. Kaiti pointed out, alternatively, if a home ticked all their boxes, did the agent need to say anything to convince them to buy it? Mr. Kaiti argues there are some excellent real estate agents out there, but that their skills aren't unique to the profession. In other words, you could do it yourself once you know the formula. 6. Buy the worst house on the best street. This adage has been circulating for quite a while. But property expert at financial comparison site Mozo, Steve Jovchevsky, warned it doesn't always hold true. The old adage suggests that pure location trumps the condition of the property, but this isn't always the case, he said. Following this advice could put someone in a position where they're forking out way too much for a decrepit property, and this is without taking into account expenses to renovate or rebuild. What are the other property myths? Comment below. News.com. Our privacy policy includes important information about our collection, use and disclosure of your personal information, including to provide you with targeted content and advertising based on your online activities. It explains that if you do not provide us with information we have requested from you, we may not be able to provide you with the goods and services you require. It also explains how you can access or seek correction of your personal information, how you can complain about a breach of the Australian privacy principles, and how we will deal with a complaint of that nature.